Hey, welcome to Large Cave Podcast. I'm your host, Kazu, and we got Earth is a Death Star in the house, or your house specifically.
Yeah.
In the house.
In the house. Whoop whoop. Well, thanks for all the beer.
Yeah, thanks for coming over.
It was a trek, man. What the hell? I'm just kidding.
Man. coming from tours from band practice, I'm sure it was quite a drive. But.
Yeah, I mean it was cool though. I mean, actually, my best friend, like, he happens to live in Los Feliz, so like it wasn't too bad. You know what I mean? Like, so after I dropped him off, I just head in there. But you know, just to kind of get to know the band a little bit, I was thinking, so Earth is a Death Star. Was it primarily a solo project at first, or?
Yeah, since it was me, our current drummer Willie, and my sister. She played. She and I would switch off between bass and guitar.
Yeah.
She ended up moving to Boston. Boston, right? And I joined a different band called Ramona Hammer, just filling in for drums for a little while. But in between that, I just on various electronic devices such as iPhones to this laptop that I bought. Wow. Right, I started doing recordings.
Mm-hmm.
And like the name Earth is a Death Star came from a glitch on my Google Earth thing. It wouldn't load properly, so it looked like Earth, and then like a grid. So,
okay.
Right, so that it made it look like the Death Star when the Republic was like scouting out how to destroy the Death Star.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, Earth is a Death Star, and I was like stuck. It was just a moniker. But then it just progressed from there, and I started recording more and more and started putting a lot of me into it. But as soon as I left Ramona Hammer, Mary and Eric kind of approached me about performing shows for APAHM last year.
Yeah.
And a lot of failed attempts at doing the solo thing. I asked Willie to play drums for me again.
Okay.
We played a lot of our old Brand Against Law songs, and then a lot of the electronic recordings we kind of turned into these songs.
Okay.
Hard rock songs, I guess.
Right. Yeah.
Are we hard rock, guys?
I thought we were kind of soft, but
I mean,
we're pretty mellow at some points in the show.
I mean, it's just kind of like, they just basing it off of, like, you know, listening to like recordings and stuff like that too. I felt this like more of I'm pretty sure live experience is different from the recording itself. Like, the recording, I kind of presume that it's more of like a almost sort of post-rocky-ish, but like with like synthy, like kind of dark wave like attitude, you know, it's like some electronic elements. So like, you know, I'm not gonna say like
I like that. I think that's what we'll say from now
yeah,
on.
I guess I don't know, like somewhat industrial. I mean, I see 9 Inch Nails tickets, so I was thinking like I'm pretty sure that was like a pretty big influence on you and stuff. So.
As far as sound goes, not so much, because Trent Reznor is like really heavy and really dark and deep. But his approach to things, I totally look up to him. Like 9 Inch Nails, like anybody who knows me well enough knows that I'm a huge 9 Inch Nails fan.
Okay.
Right. I've seen him various times, and hence the reason why I started this whole solo project thing is because I wanted to do I think my mom's him. I wanted to do the Trent Reznor thing.
Yeah.
And it kind of is in such a way, but we're totally like kind of emo about it, whereas Trent Reznor's more like I'm like hard and dark in some aspects.
Yeah.
But his ideas and approach to things in general, when it comes to his fan base and his ideas of how he wants his music to be distributed, is what I really look up to as well, among other things that he's done.
Yeah, I really feel like Trent Reznor is really interesting because he's the kind of person that likes to share his ideas, and like what I mean by that is because like he even shared like not like a wave, but like an audio file of like this of like his songs, and then like you could actually see like how it's constructed and stuff. And
right.
Yeah.
I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Especially during the Year Zero era of 9 Inch Nails, before they got not cut, but they severed ties with Interscope.
Yeah.
They distributed a ton of different flash drives and like promotion to this newer album.
Yeah.
It's like an alternate reality kind of thing. And knowing 9 Inch Nails fans, they really dug into this sort of thing.
Yeah.
And they found their ways and like found websites and phone numbers only to like find themselves into this secret, very exclusive live show for the album.
Yeah. Do you ever notice, like, because I mean, I know for a fact that Nine Inch Nails have such a big fan base, and also just as a band in general, they're pretty big, you know. And but also at the same time, I'm kind of like,
they're independent.
Yeah, but they're also like hella experimental, and I just kind of feel like, how are they able to like get such a huge crowd for a project like this, you know? And like it's kind of like unexpected to kind of see that, and I don't know. I always feel like, despite of like all the stuff that we know about them, I'm kind of like, wait, but don't you want to talk about like how they have such a huge fan base because for this like such an experimental music? Like,
I think it goes way back to when Nine Inch Nails was first conceived, right? They it was just Trent Reznor. Like, he was a janitor at some sort of record studio, and on their off time, he would just record himself and do all his parts, and then he like showed it off to some record labels, and they really liked it. I guess the sound was just really fresh.
Yeah.
And within like the genre of music he was doing, which is a very underground scene at the time, his stuff was very poppy. So it just grew from there and just became a cult following. But Nine Inch Nails fans are super devout, you know. Even now, after Interscope Records, the Slip was an album they released independently.
Okay.
And it was just entirely free under a Creative Commons, so we can cover a song and not get sued for it, which I had been thinking about.
You guys will eventually have to do that then. Right?
Yeah. Oh, the stuff on our Spotify. I was talking to this with some of my coworkers today. Actually, a lot of the stuff on our Bandcamp, on our Spotify, it's under Creative Commons. So it can be used for whatever it is you wanted to use it for.
Yeah.
If you wanted to use it, I don't know why even, but I was also thinking about, because we're a unit now. There's 4 of us within this project. Being able to trademark or just patent our music for our protection, because we don't want it. It would devastate me knowing that people were playing songs I wrote and they were making tons of money off of.
Yeah. Yeah, there's
know?
definitely different approach to it for sure.
Right.
But with like in terms of like Earth is Death Star, like the recording and stuff, was that something that you recorded all by yourself, or?
Yeah.
Really? Okay.
The stuff so far, yeah.
Yeah. Do you guys eventually want to do like a recording like as a unit too, to kind of re-record?
Absolutely.
Okay.
We actually had been talking about strategizing that within this summer.
Okay.
To do something like that, because the stuff that we already have, it's like it's old stuff. You know, it's been around for years.
Yeah.
What we have now, the recordings don't reflect how we sound live.
Yeah.
And that's what I want to evidently capture. Yeah, so we've been strategizing. Thankfully, Sean and Lewis, they've got background in recording, and he's recorded some of my bands in the past too.
Okay.
I don't know if you remember that.
Yeah, a couple times.
Okay.
I do remember that.
Yeah.
That's pretty interesting. So just to kind of get an idea of what you guys play in the band. So Lewis, what do you do?
I play guitar.
You play guitar, and Danny is.
Danny also is lead guitar.
Lead guitar.
I play guitar and I sing and I cry.
And cry. All the important jobs. Like, what about Sean?
I just play bass.
You just play bass?
Yeah.
Okay, so we're just missing a drummer for.
Yeah, he's working right now. He works late shifts at Two Beats Pizza.
Okay.
But we're gonna incorporate these two, maybe even Willie if he's open to it, to singing backup too. So
that's cool. Yeah.
We even tried like a songwriting session. Not so long ago. It was our first actually. So we still have a lot of work, but we'll see how it goes.
It's a start somewhere, right?
Yeah.
But when you first put together Earth is Death Star as a unit, was it difficult to incorporate these recordings into like a kind of a more like the live tracks?
Not so much, because before Sean and Lewis were in the band, it was just me and Willie.
Right.
And I didn't want to have us just play songs we were playing back in Brandon's Law.
Mm-hmm.
So, listening back to the digital recordings, I just kind of took note for note what was being played and transcribed it into a guitar.
Yeah.
And see what worked, and worked with their dynamics and made them totally different.
Yeah.
and then as soon as these guys joined, they just added more and more layers. And behind adding each member, I wanted them to be. I didn't want to just hire musicians to be like, hey, let's learn these songs. Let's make a band out of this.
Yeah.
I wanted them to be my friends. You know.
Yeah, it's definitely a different vibe from like, you know, hiring some professionals for just some money,
Right.
and then like, yeah, you know, create these parts for $100. You got it. Like,
That
it's
and,
like-
that and there's no money to hire these musicians, so
That's true.
I wanted to get to know. Well, I can tell you exactly how I asked these two to join me. Like,
Okay.
it was my friend's 21st birthday, and Sean was one of the only people that I would invite out, and he'd actually show. 'Cause
Yeah.
At the time, I was just like, "Hey, you want to hang out?" And like people were like,
Everybody else is a flake except
Yeah,
for
yeah,
him.
yeah, yeah. Sean was the only one who like would be like, "Oh, I'm down," right? Like the first time we like officially met was at my birthday at a Green Day concert, right?
Okay.
Yeah, and then like when he came out to this party I was throwing here for my coworkers, I was like, "Fuck, Sean, you should join our band and play the set with us. And just learn the songs." Right? Yeah, you learn
Yeah.
the songs in a matter of a couple weeks.
That's right.
And it was about a year and a half, like a year later, half a year.
Has it been a year?
It's almost, I don't know, dude.
Yeah.
Almost a year.
Yeah.
Almost a year.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you guys been together for like a little while then? Huh?
Yeah, yeah. Sean has played a few shows with us. As we were doing the whole 3-piece thing.
Okay.
But then the idea for Lewis to join the band was when he sent me a random Instagram DM, right? Because there's a band that he and I really liked back in high school. They just did a reunion. They're called Melodrone, and
Yeah.
I was stoked that they're coming back, and there's without a doubt I was gonna be at that show.
Yeah, you just let into his DM. And
Yeah, and he
Yeah,
was
no,
like,
yeah.
"Hi."
Just in there, I was like, "Hey, man."
And I was like, "Oh my god, it's Lewis." Yes, we're gonna go see. No, I'm actually. We're gonna go see Melodrone. It's gonna be great. But then, like weeks prior to that show, we had our show ourselves planned,
Yeah.
and I was like, I was just biting my nails, being like, I want to hang out. I asked him out, and we were gonna go to this bar I really like to go to in Little Tokyo.
Mm.
And I was like,
Shout out to Nirvana.
yeah, hell yeah, great spot. I was like, that night the first time we seen each other in like more than 8 years.
Okay.
I was like,
Well, it's been that long, really?
Yeah, it's been quite a long time.
Yeah,
Damn,
yeah.
8 years is a long
yeah. I was like, hey man, do you want to play guitar for us?
He caught me totally off guard because I was just like, hey, I want to catch up with him, you know. Kind of like Danny doing, like, I wonder what he's up to. Like, it was really out of curiosity to see if he was still, like, a really big fan of the band also. And when I caught him, I was like, oh, what a surprise.
Yeah.
Am I
Nice.
still a big fan?
Are you?
Were
I mean,
expectations met?
yeah,
I hope
actually.
so.
Once I found you, I was like, oh shit, he totally is.
Yeah.
No, I'm still the same kid.
Yeah, I wanted to ask from like Sean and like Lewis's perspective, but like how has it been like ever since like you joined? Has it been like a pretty new experience for you, like kind of being in this band or?
I would say so, just because I think the last time I ever even played in a band was around the time I last hung out with Danny.
Yeah.
And then since then, I've just kind of been making bad choices and, not really dedicating to what I'd like to do. But,
Yeah.
When, like I said, Danny proposed to me to join his band, I was like, I was completely off guard. I was like, I kept telling myself, I'm like good enough, like.
Yeah.
So it's been a struggle to like learn to put your fingers on the fretboard again. But I mean, the talent doesn't go, I guess.
Yeah.
Because it's like riding a bike, you don't forget.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. Okay, that's pretty cool. In Sean's case, how's it been?
For me, I haven't been playing in a band, like playing bass for a while.
Yeah.
Like maybe since high school, and that was like over 10 years ago now.
Oh,
So,
okay.
it's kind of fun to be playing in a rock band, just playing bass. I'm more of a trumpet player usually, so
Okay.
it's kind of cool to be like playing the bass.
Were you in a brass band or something, or like?
Yeah, I played in some jazz bands and concert bands and stuff.
I see.
In college and stuff. So
That's pretty cool. You guys got a pretty solid team then.
Right. No, it's great because Sean and Willie, they have their own projects.
Mm-hmm.
Willie, he fronts his own band called Night Owl Collective.
Mm-hmm.
This is Earth is a Death Star is primarily my sort of thing, but it's great because I have Lewis now to like help like co-write with me and just like be there whenever for any sort of like songwriting sessions or practice sessions.
Yeah.
So he and I are like mostly free when it comes to like this project, whereas Willie and Sean, they've got professional priorities and as far as like music goes.
Yeah.
But I like that we all have different backgrounds in music, which makes this a very eclectic sort of band, even though these are songs that I've developed.
Yeah, I definitely get that. By the way, I remember you were saying like about like in your previous bands you have to play like different instruments and stuff. Like, what was actually your first instrument?
Oh, we're gonna go way back. I can totally tell you how it's happened. In middle school, there was an after-school program, and like my parents didn't get off work early enough to pick me up, so I just hung out at school, and they had different sort of things from computer labs to homework club, and they had music programs. To be honest, the first instrument I wanted to play was the flute because of a video game I really liked called Orphan.
Yeah.
And then I tried picking up the violin because I don't know why. It must have been some sort of anime I saw.
It just happened, huh?
Right. I wanted to play guitar too, but I attended a class without any sort of prior musical knowledge, and I was just like, nah, never.
Never.
And then there's a drum class that I just like stumbled upon, and I like ended up being able to pick that up really quickly.
Okay.
So the drums were actually the first instrument that I picked up that I had an instructor for.
Okay.
But then soon after, like that's where my affinity for music was developed, and that's when I discovered 9 Inch Nails and a band and My Chemical Romance. The song "The Hand That Feeds" by 9 Inch Nails and "I'm Not Okay, I Promise" by My Chemical Romance. I was like, I can learn this on the bass. So before YouTube, before being able to learn anything on the internet, I Googled how to play bass, and I followed this basic jazz structure. Do 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 do, and I learned how to read tabs.
Yeah.
And that's where I learned how to play bass. Was just looking at that and being like, wait a minute. As soon as I learned how to read it, I was like, I'm moving on. I'm gonna find something more challenging. And that's when I learned with Teeth, and there are a lot of bands that I just listened to, and I was able to pick up on their bass lines really easily.
Okay.
It wasn't until I started listening to Green Day, when the American Idiot came out, that I started picking up the guitar again. After being afraid of even holding one, I was just like, let's give it a shot.
Yeah.
Green Day is pretty easy. It looks really easy. So I learned American Idiot and Bullet in the Bible, among other albums that came out at the time.
Okay.
Back and forth.
That's pretty cool.
So that's where a lot of my guitar skills came from.
So more of like a DIY approach. Is the same with you guys too, or?
Similar. I guess the first introduction to real rock, what I heard was Seven Nation Army. I was a freshman in 7th grade.
Yeah.
That riff really threw me off, and I was like, "Whoa, what is that?" And I wanted to play bass originally.
Mm-hmm.
I begged my dad for a bass guitar, and he was like, "No, that shit's too expensive." So one day, I still recall it. We were driving around the neighborhood, and there was like a garage sale, and he saw this acoustic guitar, and he was like, "Hey, how much do you want that? Do you want to learn how to play it?" I said, "You know what? Fuck it. You're not gonna buy me a bass. I'll play guitar." So that really sprouted into something big, because he's tried to push me to piano and stuff, and I hated it,
Yeah.
But now as you mature, you definitely want to get into piano and expand myself everywhere else. I mean, I've dabbled in other instruments, but not as much as the guitar. Like the guitar is something I've dedicated myself for quite a while now.
Sean, did you take a DIY approach also?
Let's see. So I started playing piano in 1st grade, mostly because my older brother, he was playing piano before me, and so I started doing that with a piano teacher for a few years, and then in 5th grade I picked up the trumpet, and that was because my brother was playing tuba.
Okay.
And I wanted to play something a little smaller.
Okay.
So I went with the trumpet. And then in middle school, like 7th grade or so, I saved enough money to get a P bass. So I got a Squier P bass, and then just kind of started playing like Blink 182 songs.
That's
and
sick.
stuff. And
Okay.
just kind of
What?
started playing like that sort of bass, like with the pick and stuff.
Dang, I didn't
listening to
know
Green
this.
Day.
Yeah.
Damn. There's a reason why he's in this band.
So, it was cool. I was playing trumpet and bass and learning some guitar too on the side, and
Yeah.
just mostly kind of with guitar and bass. It was mostly learning it by myself. And,
Okay.
kind of getting used to the instrument.
Okay. What kind of band were you in high school? Like you said, you were in a band prior to this, right? I mean,
Yeah, it was like a pop punk band with
Okay.
my friends in high school. Actually, one of those guys, he's my roommate right now.
like. Okay.
So that's kind of crazy. But I played in jazz bands and stuff in high school too. So
No, I see.
that was like other musical experiences.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. Yeah, I wanted to actually move on about some of the live shows you guys played, but also, you know, since we're together like this, I feel like this is actually kind of a cool topic to get into, especially with you know, Eric kind of asking me, you know, to interview you guys and like kind of talk about a little bit about the Asian Pacific American Heritage Month, because like I'm pretty sure, like, I mean, the cool thing is, like, you know, I've been to those showcases before, and I've seen my friends from like Sonoda and Young Lovers and Ceramics, like, you know, perform in these places, and they're at the forefront, and I think it's really cool how they represent these Asian American artists, you know, to these stage, you know. And I was kind of thinking, like, you know, for you, like, what do you feel is like the importance behind these showcases?
Dang, that's a very good question. It's very in depth. I didn't, for the longest time, even prior to knowing that there was even a Asian Pacific Heritage Month, I knew that we were like underrepresented in such ways, but as being Asian, especially growing up in Los Angeles, we're very underrepresented, but we're also the quiet minority,
Right.
in such a way.
Yeah.
So when being asked, the approach of us performing this, I didn't realize that there were so many other Asian fronted
Right,
acts,
yeah.
right? So
Yeah.
it was a huge eye opener. And I remember thinking back when I was playing drums on a hammer. I know that like drummers are just in the back and they're just rhythm section. And
Yeah.
I understood where my place was within the band, but also like there are a lot of photos that were surfaced, and there wasn't much of me. And you know, when we get press and when we get photos, there's like tons of whoever's up front and like very little of me. And I was like, I want photos of, despite how shy I am and how like camera shy I can be. Like, even Lewis earlier was trying to take a photo of me, and I hid behind it. There's a part of right. There's a part of me that just wants to be up there, and I want this to be. And hence the reason why I have such a fascination for Instagram, because I can really have control of how I want to perceive myself. But when it comes to playing music with Earth is a Death Star, and like my colleagues as well in the APAHM, it's great in the sense that we're all like a minority.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
especially a minority that gets easily overlooked. And I can tell you various times where I felt like I was just like hurt based on like where I'm from, but I wouldn't say too much about it. I mean, I'll think about it later on in life and be like, man, I wish I could have said that.
Yeah.
But at the time, I'm like, I just kind of let it go. But nowadays, like, anything said and done can be used against you.
Oh yeah. Totally.
Very, almost maliciously.
Yeah.
But some people, in some cases, it's like justifiable. In other cases, it's just like, I don't know, it's a bit much, but
Yeah.
but there's just like an influx of racism that's happening right now that people say the bystanders who are recording, they could have done something, but I look at those bystanders recording with their phones, and they're doing so much more than doing something. You know what I mean? Because you can do something and it only lasts that moment, whereas a video, it can be, that's the awareness.
Right.
Right. And, you know, there's just not much you can get away with, especially if you're going to be an asshole. You know what I mean?
True. Yeah. So, I mean, that's pretty, like,
Right.
It is definitely like the.
I don't know if I answered your question.
No. I mean, it is still along the line though. Like, since, like you were saying, like being underrepresented and overlooked, you don't necessarily have the opportunity to, like, you know, kind of put yourself, like, you know, out there. So then, like, it's kind of cool to have these events to like kind of help you out with that. Because, like, did you play last year within those showcases too, or like?
That was probably the first conception too, or that started was last year's APAHM.
Yeah.
Because prior to that, after leaving Ramona Hammer, I kind of took a break from like doing the music thing, just kind of studying.
Yeah.
Really, just kind of focusing on myself and like spending time with my girlfriend.
Mm-hmm.
Just trying to like get to know myself as well as others around me.
Yeah.
Because I've made a lot of new friends, but I've also lost touch with a lot of old friends.
I see. Yeah.
So just kind of like slowly but surely piecing my life back together. But I can't help it, but there's this urge to want to perform again.
Yeah.
And the APAHM is just the perfect opportunity, because not only was it that I got to play to people just like me, but also to be open about it as well.
Yeah.
You know?
I was definitely like surprised. I mean, looking at these bands and knowing that like they were all like Asian American, because you know, it's not. I'm not gonna be like, oh, I didn't think that Asians could play shoegaze or anything like that. That's not what I mean by that. It's more of like, you know, I didn't know that, like, you know, wow, like they have similar tastes as I do, and like, and you know, you look at, for example, my friends from like Young Lovers. It's like there's an all Filipino post rock group. No way.
Yeah.
Like,
I was talking to Young Lovers not too long ago, and they're saying they're an all Filipino like shoegaze group, but they did a split with Wander.
Wander, yeah.
And they were just as surprised to find a band from the Bay Area that was an all Filipino rock group.
Yeah, I interviewed them too, and
Wander?
I interviewed Wander also.
No way.
I did, yeah, and we were actually talking about that, and it's kind of like getting to know, like, for them to get to know Young Lovers, and when they released a split and stuff, it's kind of like, you know, they are the Bay Area Young Lovers, and like, Young Lovers are like the, you know,
the SoCal
Wander, you know, so it's like, just to kind of see, it's almost like looking at a parallel universe. So like,
it's awesome.
Yeah, you never know. There might be like another, you know, Earth is a Death Star on the East Coast, and you guys could
hope so.
You guys could do a split together.
I hope so.
Yeah. No.
Maybe it's my sister doing her thing.
Yeah. But do you guys, is the next showcase going to be APAHM hosted for you guys, or is it like a?
Well, right now the shows I'm putting on at the Smell, I want them to be a very like diverse group.
Mm-hmm.
Like you're like whatever race you are within the band doesn't matter. What I'm concerned about mostly is your sound.
Mm-hmm.
So our next show at the Smell is the band I'm also playing guitar for, in Shirley Lorraine, who also did an APAHM showcase.
Yeah.
She's got like this very goth kind of dream pop sound. We got Lost Anyway and Cheek Face, who I had met in my time with Ramona Hammer, and then it's us. We're closing off the night because I feel like it's appropriate, because the bands playing with us are doing us the favor.
Yeah.
And we want to. It wouldn't be right to give them like a shitty slot. So
yeah.
So we're hoping, and because of that, we don't want to release the set times till the day of the show, like shows should be, right?
Yeah.
Because with the showcase we threw for APAHM, I mean, I understand like people's concerns, and in LA everyone's super busy, and you know, I'm getting messages back and forth by people who weren't performing, being like,
Yeah.
what are the set times? And I'm like, in the back of my head, I'm like, just show up.
Mhm.
Show up when doors open and just stick around for the night. You know, and don't worry about the set times because they'll still be there. But at the same time, I'm like, all right, so this is the set times and this is the lineup and this it's potentially the night of how it's gonna roll.
Yeah.
And you know, the turnout of the night just was great anyway. But I'm hoping to keep that consistent without having to share that.
Definitely.
You know, personally, like all the bands, like we know each band knows when they're gonna go on and what the set times are, and they're to their liberty, they're free to give out what time they're supposed to go on.
Okay.
But the idea behind it is to like not release anything until like maybe even the night of the show, or maybe until they even arrive. But with this day and age, it'd be cool to just post on the Facebook event.
Yeah, kind of more like of a spontaneous approach. Than
Right,
just a kind of
right.
planned attack.
And just like, I remember seeing Ramona Hammer do their Echo residency and seeing the lineup and the set times. Like as I arrived, like I was late to the party, but I knew I wasn't gonna miss them because I showed up like an hour and a half, maybe even sooner. When doors opened, because I didn't care. 'Cause I knew they were gonna play, and I was like, I'm here to stick around to see who else is gonna perform. Anyway.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
On this podcast, I ask this question every time, but you know, especially like being in like a live band, like you also want to go see bands yourself too, and like it's also part of our enjoyment. You know, it's our lifestyle. And I wanted to know what was one of your favorite group that you've seen live in the past.
And just like in the recent past?
It doesn't have to be recent. It could be like something that's off of like DIY venue or even like a actual like venue. You know, so.
I guess the best time I've had so far is when Danny took me to go see his old band, Ramona Hammer. I just kind of fell in love with them.
Really? Wow.
I had no
was
idea.
that the hi-hat show?
At the hi-hat show.
Right before their tour,
Yeah, I had no idea who they were, and Danny like was running up to this group of people, and I was like, oh, he must know them. I kind of just sat back and let him do his deal, and didn't realize that they were going to go play.
Yeah.
So
Right.
that's been cool. I mean, I follow them and went to go see them in San Diego recently.
Oh wow. Okay.
So I'm definitely kind of into that right now.
That's really awesome.
No, yeah, I love the guys from Ramona Hammer. They're very supportive, especially after me leaving. Despite how like devastated they were with my announcement, they're super supportive of me as well.
Yeah.
And I love those guys, and I've learned a lot of the things I've learned from them. I'm truly integrating into this performance as well.
Yeah. What about for you?
Recent performances?
It doesn't have to be recent. It could be like
or
something
just like
from the past. Yeah.
The past.
One of your favorite bands you've seen live.
Fuck. I've gone to so many shows in the past, and each one has always blown me away. That's the great part about it. I guess I'd have to say more recently was Mellodrome, and we saw them at the Moroccan Lounge.
That was definitely a good show.
Yeah.
I can't believe I didn't mention that.
Yeah, it was cool because they played everything I wanted to hear.
Yeah.
Something from the APAHM showcase, again at the Moroccan Lounge, is Polytropica. That was my first time ever seeing her, and she was really good. She was awesome, yeah. Right now, my favorite band is Young Lovers.
Yeah.
I specifically signed up to do sound at the Smell that night just so I can see them.
Oh, okay.
And it's great.
Yeah. It's good stuff. Yeah.
My most recent ones, at least, as far as like pastimes, nothing can ever top 9 Inch Nails shows. Pick a year. I'll tell you which one was best.
How many times have you seen them in total?
Since 2009, when they announced their breakup, right? When they came back with their latest album, Hesitation. At the time, their latest album, it's Hesitation Marks.
Yeah.
I'd been following them, and as an adult, I can just like buy their tickets whenever I wanted to go see them.
True that. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna go see them again in December.
Oh, that tour where it's like where you have to pick up the ticket
At the venue, yeah, I waited 8 hours for that ticket. That's
8 hours?
Well, yeah, I thought maybe it was just gonna be like, oh, one ticket, please.
Yeah.
But like, no, I underestimated. Like, I'm ashamed that I underestimated the Nine Inch Nails fandom. But yeah, there's thousands of people there. Yeah.
For the Palladium show. That's
Yeah,
coming up.
and they just announced 2 more, so I'm gonna have to buy those tickets too.
Do you have to
Wow.
line up for those? Too?
No, you can buy those online, but that was Trent Reznor's approach to it, was to have people go out and just interact with people when it comes to concerts.
Yeah.
A lot like the approach I'm kind of doing for our shows.
You could be the next Trent Reznor one.
Oh man.
So that's a big responsibility.
That is. I mean, I look
Asian
up.
Trent Reznor.
Asian Trent Reznor.
I look up to the guy, but I don't know if I'll ever be able to like, meet his standards.
Yeah. What about you, Sean?
Ooh, well, a lot of times we play with these guys, the Night Owl Collective, and it's kind of fun to see them like doing the same songs, but kind of getting better each time.
Mm-hmm.
And our drummer Willie's in that group too,
Right.
so it's kind of cool to be playing shows with those guys.
Okay.
But then another group I gotta mention is Knower.
Nor?
Knower. It's Knower.
Oh, yeah. I would never guess that's how you spell it. Like, it kind of sounds like noir, like Noir. You know?
Yeah.
They started off as a pop duo type thing with like they used to use a projector with all these visuals while they were playing their stuff on stage. But
Yeah.
then recently they kind of started incorporating like a full band type thing. So they've been cool to watch live.
Okay. That's pretty tight. Yeah. No, I feel like you guys all have a pretty cool variety of like all these shows, and like the one thing I feel like it's all in common is like a lot of these shows that you mentioned that you guys are all into were like DIY shows too. So like, you know, you guys are really into the scene, which is pretty cool.
I hope so.
Yeah. No, you guys aren't.
Yeah.
No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, screw that.
Yeah, fuck local music.
Yeah.
I'm just
Yeah, man. Fuck it.
It's
Fuck
all
it.
about J-pop.
Oh, it's totally about J-pop.
Yeah.
Yeah. I see the Perfume poster and I was like, I actually went to one of their tour.
You were on tour with them?
No, I didn't go on tour with them. What would I be doing? Like, I don't know. No, I saw them though at the Hollywood Palladium in 2014.
Ah, yeah.
They did like a tour. They're like a 3-girl group.
Yeah.
That does techno and like stuff, and they dance to the music.
Yeah. I've only seen them once, but I've always been a big fan. They're probably one of the first J-pop groups I was introduced to, and
Yeah.
I was really happy to see them at the Weltern that one time.
Yeah.
I got this poster when I wanted to go see Silent Siren back in 2016 for J-Pop Summit,
Yeah.
and I was like, wow, that's a Perfume poster. I need one
Yeah.
for my room. And
Yeah, J-pop is like a completely different world. I feel like whenever I listen to their music, it's like so.
it makes me so happy.
It's like it's poppy, but it's just so well crafted. Like it's kind of crazy. Like
It's great. Like a lot of the music I listen to is predominantly Japanese,
Mm-hmm.
and so it's kind of interesting that like the music I play with my guys, right, does not reflect the music I actually listen to. And I guess I can go in like so many different cases, but there's at least some sort of similarity, whereas J-pop is just like a total different direction.
It's a different machine for sure. Yeah. Right. Well, so this next question kind of goes back to like, you know, the band thing, but like especially when you have like other responsibilities like outside of band, like do you feel like it's really hard to meet up for practices and stuff, or has it been like pretty easy for you guys?
Can I? Before
you
we
wanna go ahead first?
Yeah, before we get into Lewis and Sean's experience, I just want to go back and talk about my experience at Ramona Hammer, and it absolutely was.
Mm-hmm.
Because it was entirely their sort of thing. Even though it became a unit between the 4 of us.
Yeah.
They had like entire like creative direction towards it, and I was just kind of like going with the flow.
Yeah.
And I like whatever it is they were scheduling, whatever it is we had planned out. I ultimately had to agree to it
Yeah.
in order to pursue the band and get them to where they were going, and that ultimately cost me a lot because I had to like request time off work, and it kept me from like doing the things I wanted to do, as well as like go to school and see my friends.
Yeah.
Whereas in this band, it's more or less the same, but because I have total control and like an idea and a direction, and I can schedule things to my liking.
Yeah.
To these guys, I hope it's not that experience, but with this, I can go at it. Right? I'm hoping I can go about it at my own pace.
Yeah.
You know. Whereas these guys, I'm not trying to give Vermont Hammer a lot of slack. I mean, I love them to death. But they really know how to like really pursue themselves and push themselves to the limit.
Yeah.
But it was what Andy's current girlfriend, Rocky. She said to me not too long ago at their hi-hat show, "Don't spread yourself too thin." And since then, I was just like, okay, yeah. I'm really taking that to this now, even recently. But yeah, we're just really going with the flow with it. I'm in no real hurry.
Yeah.
But as long as we can go about this at our own pace, and I feel like there's a lot of momentum with us now that we're a 4-piece.
Yeah. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, since we played the showcase.
Yeah. And it's been easy for you guys too.
Yeah, definitely working a full-time job kind of drained at the end of the day, but you playing in a band has been like, you definitely have something to look forward to, even if it's a middle of the night practice or you know, just a good hangout session.
Yeah.
Generally, yeah, it's good. It's not too tedious. Definitely enjoying just playing again.
Yeah, same here. It's like something I look forward to, like playing with these guys, because like I work at the bookstore. During the school year, up until a couple weeks ago, I was teaching at a school, just helping part-time instrumental music stuff. And then sometimes I'd play with a funk band on trumpet. And then like I'd play with these guys, but somehow like it all works out, and I'm just like trying to surround myself with a lot of music, like of all sorts, with like kids or like you guys. So it's been kind of fun to experience it all.
Yeah, I try to keep in mind like these guys' busy schedules, and I understand that if we have to get up early the next morning, we won't schedule a practice.
Yeah.
I'll ultimately make that sacrifice, and you know, I'm willing to like lose the sleep over these guys because it's their well-being I care about the most over mine when it comes to being in this band.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Sweetheart.
Absolutely.
That's very sweet. Yeah.
Leave the stress to me, as long because if you guys aren't happy in this band, then are we really in the band?
Yeah. I mean, so far I don't get this any vibe of somebody standing up and be like, "Well, fuck this."
Yeah.
Just leave. You know what I mean?
Like a revolution, a revolt against me.
Like a revolt. Yeah.
I'm so sorry.
And they start another project without you, and then like. Yeah, basically.
We'll call ourselves the Rebellion.
What if they or if this is that Star Wars, the Rebellion.
I like how that's been overlooked this entire time.
Yeah.
Our name's like a Star Wars reference.
It caught me all of a sudden. It's like, true that. All right, cool. Yeah, I think I pretty much asked everything I want to ask, but I want to get into a section called this, that. I'd just be like asking you guys some like just shooting you guys some random short questions. You guys could, just answer it however way you want to. You don't. I mean, it's basically me asking you random questions. That's
3-page essay, 300 paragraphs.
What was it? Format? MI format or something?
Yeah. MLA format.
MLA
Chicago
format.
style.
Yeah, Chicago style.
Double space.
1,500 words. Like,
my semester just ended. I'm PTSD right now.
Let's not talk about it then. Yeah, but we'll start off with something simple, and you guys could all answer this too. Cats or dogs?
Dogs.
Ooh, that's tough.
Dogs for me.
I have both, and I have always loved cats, but dogs have kind of been pretty warm. But
Yeah.
I'm gonna say cats. Sorry, I have to
Cats.
say cats.
I like cats too, but dogs.
Fuck cats.
Dogs are fun.
This is the reason why I'm in the middle.
Yeah, it's just completely separated from right there. Yeah.
Shit, this
Yeah.
band's gonna break up.
You got grunge against cats or something, or like what?
Oh no, they're fine. I just have allergies.
That's
I
a good
probably
reason,
have dog
though.
allergies too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm allergic to cats too. Even though I went to Cat Island, I was like, I'm allergic to cats. Yeah.
My girlfriend's allergic to cats, but she loves dogs.
Yeah.
I wonder if it's a Japanese thing.
Maybe that is a thing.
Yeah, not at all.
Yeah. Well, we learned something new today.
Mm.
The other one is if you could visit any country in the world, like where would you want to go? Or any place really.
It's always been my dream to go to Japan, and I've made that dream come true. So now at this point, after Japan,
Go to a different part of Japan.
right? Okay.
I want to go to
That's good.
China
You want to go to China?
China's cool. China'd be cool too.
or Cuba.
Cuba.
Cuba would be cool.
It's open, so you could go in if you want to.
I want to go to like a northern European country, like Sweden would be cool.
Yeah.
Anywhere where I can see Slender Man or the Aurora Borealis.
We got some good music in Sweden.
Oh yeah, no, I'm a big fan of the Refused, so.
Yeah.
Sweden.
Oh, they're from Sweden, huh?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
There you
Or
go.
Little Dragon.
Yeah, Little
Little
Dragons.
Dragon's tight.
The singer's half Japanese.
Uh,
she's Nihonjin.
Yeah.
Bjork.
Bjork, yeah.
Bjork, yeah. Iceland.
That's right.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Oh, Iceland. Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say Iceland.
Yeah.
Mm.
Iceland would be cool to check out.
Yeah. I'll definitely go to Iceland too. Go hang out with Bjork.
Mm.
That would be a goal. Yeah. What about
That was a tough one.
yeah, for the next one, it's this is actually like pretty difficult. Hard liquor or beer?
Beer. Fuck.
Beer.
Although, recently, I've been trying to cut back on it and doing a little bit of hard liquor. I ultimately drink like highballs or karapisawa.
Yeah.
Since coming back from Japan, it's like all I would really drink.
Yeah. It's called Calpico, right?
Yeah,
like,
Calpico here because no one wants to drink anything called Calpis.
Calpis, that's right.
Yeah. But in Japan, I really like it.
Would you like to drink Calpis?
I think I'd be interested.
Yeah, no, the bar I go to,
It's got like a juicy texture.
Oh, jeez.
yeah, and it's white, yogurty white.
Yeah, like
Is it really?
It is, yeah.
Like
yeah.
you drink?
Very rich.
Have you ever tried Calpico before?
Calpico? No, I don't think so.
It's like it's considered soft drink in Japan, but it's like a yogurt, like a
Oh yeah, I think I've seen it. I've seen it.
it's like a diluted yogurt that does have like that texture you were talking about.
There's a carbonated version too, Calpico
Oh,
soda.
that's the best.
Calpico soda.
Yeah, because
It's carbonated jizz water.
Dude, fucking.
It's the best.
I'll drink it. It's great.
How did it end up like
I'm
this?
not ashamed.
Yeah, the original drink itself is like a syrup. It's like in a bottle, and then like what you're supposed to do is you're supposed to pour the syrup into the cup, and then you mix it with water, and then you mix it up.
Dilute it a little more.
Right.
Yeah. But yeah, it does have a now that Sean mentioned it, does have a pretty weird texture to it.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I don't care. It's the bar I really like to go to is the bar where I ultimately just go to practice my Japanese.
What's it called again, Danny?
Bar Nirvana. I cannot speak enough about that place. But I'll bring in my own Calpico, and they'll be like, karapisawa onegaishimasu. And they're like, hariya. I'm the only one that goes in there with the Calpico, and they'll make it for me.
I mean, that makes you a very unique one. You know,
Yeah.
the only person that comes in the Calpico.
Yeah, I'm a regular. But I ultimately would go in there for their happy hour and their beers. But
Mhm.
it's gotten a little heavy for me.
Happy endings.
It doesn't really matter. No, I'm just kidding.
How did it end up like that?
Yeah, I know.
The next one. How do you
Got really
guys
sexy.
how do you guys feel about 311?
The group?
Yeah.
Since Liz joined the band, we've been going to 7-Eleven a lot.
Okay.
I've seen 311 live in Japan one time.
In Japan?
Yeah.
Wow.
They're pretty dope.
Yeah. How did you end up seeing them in Japan?
It was a music festival. I think it was like spring. It was like a punk thing, like punk Punk Spring.
Okay.
I think that's what it was called.
Yeah.
There are all
Sounds
these
hard, man.
different bands. Bad Religion was there. I'm trying to remember who else.
No Effects or something like that.
Yeah.
I think it might have been like Panic at the Disco. Or
What?
something.
Well, that's kind of a different.
That's
thing.
That's
But,
cool.
311 was good. Can't remember who else
It's
was
like a
there.
K-Rock
right now.
night.
Yeah, it's like K-Rock night.
Mhm.
But they're alright, 311.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing against them.
It's
They're
like-
just not a band I think of listening to.
It's just kind of an ongoing.
Good
question.
stoner music.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Good
I'll
stuff.
agree with that.
Yeah.
Yeah. They did the music for 51st States, right? Whenever I'm alone. Or am I thinking?
Oh, they did a Cure cover. Yeah.
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 I always get them mixed up with like Three Doors Down or something.
Yeah. 3 Doors Down,
3 Doors
311,
311.
3. What are some other 3 bands? 3 Days. Wait.
3 Days
3 Days
Grace,
Grace. Yeah,
yeah.
that's another one.
There's
Yeah.
3 Days Grace. There's
3. I just think of 311 all over the place.
yeah.
Yeah. No, I just think they're a really unique band. I just wanted to ask your opinion. That's all.
Hopefully we'll get to tour with them because they did they not do a tour with Silver Sun Pickups? Or was
311.
Or was it 311 or 3 Days Grace?
I don't know if
3 Doors Down.
I don't,
God damn it!
I
SSB.
don't think Silver Sun would do a tour with 311 unless it was like a K-Rock night or something.
That's exactly what it might have been.
Yeah, probably. Yeah.
Yeah.
It must have been like a acoustic Christmas or like some
Right.
Weenie
with
roast or
Weezer.
something. Yeah, with Weezer or something. Yeah, I would think so.
Yeah.
You know what's crazy is that I was actually looking up things about 311 like during my spare time, and like supposedly like the first show they ever played, they opened for Fugazi.
Oh wow.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's pretty hardcore.
Right.
I would never guess that. I was like, what?
It's crazy because Fugazi is not that household name that 311 is.
Yeah.
But 311 over Nickelback any day.
Yeah. True that.
They get a lot of crap, but you know.
They're.
They don't deserve it, but it's great.
I don't think they deserve it either. It's just kind of like the hate they get is like, that's pretty interesting. Like, I don't know. It's like,
Yeah.
I guess it's just one of those bands. I mean, it doesn't matter. They're still getting money, so like,
Yeah. They're not a band I care too much about either, so.
Yeah.
I feel like there's other bands that get more hate though.
Than Nickelback?
Oh, Nickelback. That's one of them.
Yeah.
we were saying, yeah.
Or Sugar Ray.
Oh man.
Sugar Ray gets quite a bit. Do they get quite a bit of hate? I don't even know.
Maybe not even nowadays, because like,
I don't think there's
people don't even know.
They're so
who they
obscure
are.
now that they don't get the hate. I mean, I think the hate will do them good.
Yeah, I feel like there's a difference
Like-
between a meme and like a hate.
Right,
thing,
like Smash Mouth.
Like Smash Mouth,
Oh,
that's
yeah.
a meme. Like Smash Mouth's a big.
They're playing Pershing Square this summer for
Really?
free. Yeah, and I'd love to go see
Yeah.
it.
Where are they
Here.
playing?
It's a free show.
Pershing Square in downtown LA.
Oh,
Yeah.
Damn.
But She Wants Revenge is opening up for the Psychedelic Fairies at Pershing Square too.
Cool.
That's
Wow.
gonna be a badass show if you guys want to join me.
I'd love to
It's
join
free
you guys
also,
for
right?
it.
Yeah, it's
Oh,
all
shit.
Smash Mouth and She Wants Revenge.
Oh, they're not the same night, but you know they're doing. Oh, I'm sorry. They're
Oh.
doing like weekly nights at Pershing Square.
What if that's a lineup right there? So it's like Earth is a Death Star, Smash Mouth, then 311.
I'm down.
Dang.
Yeah.
We'll do a.
Sign me up.
We'll play Parting of Ways, but with Smash Mouth lyrics.
Yeah. Have you seen this YouTuber who's like, who cover like these like various songs like Evanescence and like,
Yeah, no, he's the one who started the whole like Smash Mouth.
yeah,
thing.
and then he's about to sing, but then he starts going somebody wants to,
Yeah.
and it just works, you know.
Yeah, it's great at it.
Yeah.
Wait, who is this guy? He's a YouTuber?
Yeah, he's like he's a chunkier guy.
He just sings a bunch of old classics.
Right,
No,
he'll play like Evanescence or Linkin Park, and you're anticipating the lyrics to the songs, but he'll just go, "Somebody once told me the world." And it works because Smash Mouth's song is in the key of C, and a lot
Just
of
about
it.
everything.
Yeah.
Oh, so he sings Smash Mouth over everything.
Yeah,
over
because
like
everything
Evanescence
works.
and Linkin Park, and it just like works because of the flow, and
Oh,
it's like a really
works
standard
for sure.
pop song, you know. So like, if you follow the theory of it, it just does it, you know. Yeah. It's like that old YouTube video that was really popular because, you know, these three like random dudes, they were playing like the 4 chords of like Awesome or something like that.
Axis of Awesome.
Yeah,
Axis of
exactly.
Awesome, yeah.
They were great.
Yeah, and they just
That's
like
a great video.
they start off with playing like "Don't Stop Believin'" and somehow like ends up in like some like completely different pop song and stuff.
It's the 1-5-6-4 chord progression.
It's canon in C. It's canon. Right.
True.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had like one last question like before we end this, but yeah, I was actually just kind of thinking about it. I became brain dead all of a sudden for some reason.
I think it's the Odeon or the Blue Moon.
Yeah, it's all because of like Sean bringing in Japanese beer, and like it just happened that way. So I don't know.
Tonight was a party tonight, man. It's always a party here at my place.
Yeah,
we'll play Fortnite next time. Before you arrived, we were playing some Fortnite, just being like,
nice.
we got a podcast interview to do. Oh, okay,
I missed out. I got it.
I've never played Fortnite before.
We can play some.
It's
We can still play some. It's not too late. The night's still young.
Yeah, the night is like.
Let's record it too.
Still young too. We're gonna like wrap this up. I was thinking, you know, since you already like announced like, you know, when your next show is, are you planning on doing any release for any new music? You know, sometimes this year. Tentatively, yeah.
Japan tour 2019.
Oh yeah.
Japan tour. Make it happen.
Well, it can happen. I know. I don't know if I should be saying this. I know Young Lovers is planning a Japan tour, but as far as Earth as a Death Star goes, we're really strategizing with the recordings, trying to make this as affordable and as cost effective as possible, as well as DIY as possible. But hopefully something before the end of this year, we'll have something, even if it's just a digital release or like a single, an EP.
We're just gonna do cassettes section.
That's totally doable. Absolutely.
Cassettes would be nice.
Yeah.
Cassettes will be cool. It is coming back. It's crazy, right?
Yeah, tangible media.
Yes. But
Laser discs.
yeah.
Laser discs are
Laser
like.
discs albums.
We totally have sites for how we want to release things as far as like recordings and videos and all that goes. Right now our main goal is to just have something as a band, because everything is just me, and I want something that actually reflects us.
Yeah.
So this isn't a me thing anymore; it's an us thing.
Us thing.
Yeah. They've got their own inputs with the songs that I've written, but now we're like working on songs that we're writing together.
Okay.
And that's the stuff I'm hoping to release on top of whatever it is we have.
Definitely, yeah. If both these guys like think it's like a you thing, then they'll be like, "Damn, dude, I didn't think Danny was such a self-centered person."
Right? No, I don't want to be.
It's
like
actually
that.
quite the opposite, because Danny is like the sweetest person I've known, and he even approached me when he said, "Don't play the riffs like the way I would, just play them the way you would. You know, make them your own."
Okay, so he's not like play exactly what I'm doing right now. Or
Yeah.
else, yeah.
He's pretty much saying, "Don't be a hired gun and just make it your own." You know?
Exactly. Like,
Good metaphor.
when asking these guys to be in my band, I'm like, I've got these songs. Just do like whatever you think sounds good.
Yeah.
Do them. If I have something I have to say about it, then I'll tell you.
Yeah.
In order to quote unquote fix.
Yeah.
But otherwise, these guys have been they've stayed true to how the songs in my head should sound. Whereas, it's a funny thing about that, because when I told Willie about this project and inviting him in to do Earth as a Death Star, he and I have been playing music for a really long time.
Yeah.
I told him, like, I've got these songs recorded as electronic songs. He's like, Danny, I'm not going to play these songs like you have in the recording. I'm just going to do what I want to do. He's the only one that's, like, opposed to, like, how they should sound. And I'm like, dude, that's totally fine.
Yeah.
I'll work with you. I'm sorry. No, not at all like that. But it's more like, I'm glad that he has that sort of, like, strong attitude about himself, because then it makes me, like, challenge myself about even my own songs.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't want these guys to challenge themselves with these songs too.
Yeah. I think you got yourself a perfect unit. But
I hope so. Yeah.
Yeah.
I know so.
definitely, yeah. Well, no, I just want to say thanks for being a part of this and basically.
Thanks for coming over.
Yeah, and
thanks to
doing
you.
this program. I mean, it's really nice talking to a lot of these bands like this. And, I feel like it's really exciting. So we should definitely play a show together.
Yeah,
And,
we'll definitely play a show together, and I hope we can do more of these sort of things.
Yeah.
So,